We're back now with late-breaking news. The woman convicted of murdering Mexican-American music star Selena has been denied parole.
For nearly 3 decades, the name Yolanda Saldívar has been uttered in the same breath as betrayal, obsession, and tragedy. She is the woman who stole the future of a generation's icon, Selena Quintanilla Perez. Since March 31, 1995, Saldivar has sat in a Texas prison cell, hidden from the public eye, a silent specter haunting the legacy of the queen of Tejano music. But now, at 64 years old, with her first parole hearing looming in 2025, the silence has shattered. In a shocking new documentary series titled Forgiveness in the Aftermath, Saldivar has granted her first extensive on-camera interview. What she reveals is not a confession of cold-blooded calculation, nor a simple plea for mercy. Instead, she paints a picture of a toxic, codependent relationship, alleging secrets about Selena's personal life that she has carried for 30 years. The world expected a monster. Instead, they saw a tearful, gray-haired woman holding a rosary, claiming she is the victim of a perfect storm of manipulation and fear. The docuseries, released exclusively on a streaming platform just weeks before her parole board hearing, has ignited a firestorm, forcing fans to relive the trauma while grappling with a narrative they have long refused to hear. The documentary opens not with Saldivar, but with the empty stage of the Astrodome in Houston. The director uses haunting, high-definition shots of vintage Selena concert footage, juxtaposed with the sterile, beige walls of the Patrick L. O'Daniel Unit Prison in Gatesville, Texas. The editing is jarring, color and life versus gray and decay. The first time we see Saldivar, she is not in an interrogation room. She is in the prison's visiting yard, tending to a small, struggling cactus. She moves slowly, her back curved from age. When the interviewer asks why she chose to speak now, after nearly 30 years of silence, she does not look at the camera. She looks at her hands. "Because I am dying," she claims. "Not just my body, but my soul. People think I am a demon. But when you are in hell for 30 years, you either find God or you find the truth. I found both." This opening statement immediately sets the tone for the series. It is not a defense of her actions on that March day, but a radical reframing of the years leading up to it. She argues that the public narrative, that of a crazed fan killing her idol, is a convenient lie constructed by Abraham Quintanilla, Selena's father, to protect the family's business empire. Saldivar alleges that she was not the predator, but a scapegoat. The most shocking revelation comes in the second episode, titled The Secrets of the Boutique. Here, Saldivar claims that her relationship with Selena went far beyond that of an employee and boss. While she stops short of claiming a physical affair, she heavily implies a deep, emotional intimacy that she argues Abraham Quintanilla found threatening. Selena loved deeply, Saldivar says, her voice cracking. She loved her music. She loved Chris. But she also loved the people who protected her. I was her protector. She told me things she never told Suzette. She told me about the pressure to have a baby before the crossover album. She told me about the fear that if she failed in the English market, her father would dissolve the band. Saldivar alleges that the embezzlement charges, the $60,000 that justified her firing, were a fabrication. Abraham needed a villain, she claims. I had keys to the kingdom. I knew that Selena wanted to fire her father as manager. I knew she wanted to take Chris on a real honeymoon. I was the only one who knew that Selena was secretly seeing a therapist for panic attacks. When I asked for a raise for my work with the boutiques, Abraham saw it as extortion. He turned the family against me, and Selena. Selena was too weak to stop him. This accusation has drawn immediate condemnation from the Quintanilla family. In a statement released via social media, Suzette Quintanilla called the docuseries a disgusting work of fiction designed to distract from the fact that Yolanda shot my sister in the back. However, for true crime viewers, the allegation that the real secret was Selena's desire to break from her father's control adds a layer of Greek tragedy to the proceedings. The third episode pivots to the day of the murder itself, but not as history remembers it. Saldivar has never wavered from her claim that the shooting was accidental. However, in this documentary, she adds a new, desperate detail. She claims the gun was meant for herself. That morning in room 158, I was not trying to kill Selena. I was trying to kill me. She sobs. She explains that after being publicly shamed by the Quintanilla family and accused of theft, she felt she had no future. I bought the gun to end my own life. I asked Selena to come to the motel because I wanted to say goodbye. I wanted to give her the bank records and then be done with this world. According to Saldivar, the argument erupted when Selena demanded the financial ledgers. She grabbed my purse. She knew the gun was in there. I yelled, "Don't take that. Give it back." We wrestled. I didn't pull the trigger on purpose. The gun just went off. I saw her run, and I knew my life was over too. The documentary then cuts to a forensic expert, hired by the production, not the state, who posits that the angle of the wound, while devastating, is not inconsistent with a struggle for a weapon. This segment is likely the most controversial, as it directly contradicts the trial testimony, where witnesses heard Saldivar shout, "I didn't mean to kill her," followed by the prosecution's successful argument that she had ample time to call an ambulance, but instead barricaded herself in the truck. Perhaps the most heartbreaking aspect of the docuseries is not what Saldivar says, but what she refuses to say. When asked about Selena's final words, Yolanda Saldívar, to the motel clerk, Saldivar closes her eyes. "She said my name because she loved me," Saldivar whispers. In her last moment, she knew that I was the only one who could save her, and I had failed. She said my name to make sure I was caught. She wanted me to be punished, because she knew I needed to be punished to be saved. It is a bizarre twist on the narrative, turning the identification of a murderer into a spiritual act of mercy. The director of the series, who remains anonymous, credited only as a seeker of truth, defends the project in the final minutes. This is not a pro-Yolanda documentary. A title card reads, "It is a documentary about the nature of obsession. If we do not listen to the villain, we never truly understand the tragedy." But the reaction on social media has been unanimous. Trending hashtags like hashtag cancel the docuseries and hashtag justice for Selena have flooded timelines. Celebrities and fans argue that giving Saldivar a platform, regardless of the context, reopens a wound that has barely healed and profits off a murdered Latina icon. The final episode focuses on the present, Yolanda Saldívar at 64. She is wheeled into the frame. She claims to have severe arthritis and a heart condition. She holds a Bible, specifically open to the book of John, chapter 8, the story of the woman caught in adultery. "Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more." Saldivar asks for forgiveness not from the court, but from the fans. "I know you hate me. You have the right to hate me. But I am not the monster in the news clips. I am a woman who loved too much. I am a woman who was used and thrown away." She claims that for 30 years, she has been protecting Selena's image by not revealing these secrets about Selena's marital strife and business anxieties. "I kept silent to protect her legacy," she argues. "But now, facing death, I realize that the truth is the only thing that sets you free." Selena was not a perfect angel. She was a human being under tremendous stress. I was the friend who caught her when she fell, and I am the friend who accidentally destroyed her. As the docuseries ends, the camera lingers on Saldivar alone in her cell. The microphone picks up the ambient noise of the prison, the slamming of distant doors, the hum of the ventilation system. She begins to hum a melody. It takes a moment to recognize it. It is Amor Prohibito, forbidden love. The irony is not lost on the viewer. Her love for Selena was, in every sense of the word, prohibited. Whether it was the love of a fan, a friend, or a delusional mind, it resulted in the death of a star. The screen fades to black, and then text appears. Yolanda Saldívar's parole hearing is scheduled for March 30th, 2025. The implication is clear. This docuseries is her application for freedom. But does she deserve it? The legal reality is harsh. She was sentenced to life, with the possibility of parole after 30 years. Legally, she has served her minimum time. Yet, the court of public opinion is far more brutal. In a shocking twist, the documentary leaked a psychological evaluation conducted by a prison therapist that Saldivar agreed to share. The evaluation suggests that Saldivar suffers from erotomania, a rare delusional disorder where a person believes another person is in love with them. The therapist wrote, Miss Saldivar genuinely believes she was in a reciprocal, exclusive relationship with the victim. Her memory of events has been reconstructed to fit the narrative of a tragic accident rather than murder. She is not lying in the traditional sense. She is living in an alternate reality where her love was requited. This diagnosis, if true, is the most tragic element of all. It suggests that Yolanda Saldívar has spent 30 years in a prison of her own mind, long before she ever entered the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. In the final moments of the series, the director asks Saldivar what she would say to Selena if she could see her now. Saldivar looks directly into the lens, directly at the audience. I would say, I'm sorry I missed the target. The crew audibly gasps. She quickly corrects herself. I'm sorry I missed a chance to save you. I'm sorry the bullet hit you. But the slip of the tongue is devastating. For that 1 second, the mask of the sorrowful friend slipped, and the world saw a glimpse of the cold, calculated woman who drove to a motel with a .38 Taurus revolver. It is this single, terrifying moment of ambiguity that leaves the world shocked. Is she a broken, elderly woman manipulated by a documentary crew seeking redemption? Or is she a master manipulator, using her final years of freedom as a bargaining chip to rewrite history? The legacy of Selena Quintanilla is one of joy, cumbia beats, and purple jumpsuits. She is a saint in the Mexican-American community, a figure whose death was a martyrdom for Tejano music. Yolanda Saldívar knows she cannot kill Selena a second time, but by breaking her silence at 64, she has attempted to do something perhaps more unforgivable. She has tried to muddy the waters. She has tried to introduce the concept of shades of gray into a story that fans have kept in stark black and white. For many, the documentary is a vile, exploitative piece of fiction. For very few, it is a disturbing look at the psychology of obsession. But for everyone who watches, one thing is clear. The name Yolanda Saldívar will forever be the antithesis of Selena Quintanilla. One gave life through music. The other took it away and is now using silence and speech as her final weapons. As the parole board prepares to review her case, the world watches with bated breath. Will she walk free? Or will the secrets between us remain buried in a motel room that no longer exists? The shock waves of her confession prove that even in death, Selena commands the spotlight, and even in chains, Yolanda is desperate to stand in it. The only question that remains is whether the public will buy her story or finally, after 30 years, close the book for good.